Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, we are closer than we've ever been before to the official announcement of the Clarity Act passing. As here, Brad Garlinghouse was speaking on stage, officially giving his final deadline for when he thinks clarity is going to be. Here BG says, by the end of May, he expects crypto regulation to fully be in place. By the end of May, it's very likely trillions could begin pouring into crypto, slowly but surely, gaining more traction every single day. Brad Garlinghouse wants this bill to pass as is because Ripple stands to benefit, XRP stands to benefit. We went through a 5-year-long illegitimate SEC lawsuit. We went through being falsely accused of fraud. We went through being hated by Epstein. We went through all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt by Bitcoin maxis, all for this one flip of the switch moment when crypto regs can stop holding back all the money that we actually deserve. But you guys don't need to listen to me say it. Please listen to Brad Garlinghouse.
So as you're describing, the Genius Act passed last summer, which I think was a major step forward. And I think it was one of the unlocks and demand and excitement around stablecoins. And you're seeing CEOs and CFOs at Fortune 2000 companies saying, hey, are we using stablecoins? Could we be using stablecoins? And that's going to continue to happen. The Clarity Act, which is intended to be kind of the fast follow-on, not quite fast, to provide clarity about what is a security, what's a commodity, et cetera, has been slow. And in part is the banks have kind of reopened some parts of the Genius Act about how our yield or rewards happen, what's the difference between reward and yield. Look, Ripple doesn't have a big dog in this fight. And so we have kind of, on this particular point, let people who care more deeply about it fight that fight. I do think that having this White House support the Clarity Act and push it forward has been profound. The fact that the SEC in the United States and the CFTC 9 days ago came together and said, these 16 digital assets are commodities. You think about the contrast between that and the Biden war on crypto that drove it offshore in the United States. So I think we already have made huge progress in this administration to provide some of that structure and clarity. I think clarity will still pass. I was in Washington 2 days ago, and I think we'll still get something. I think the person that I trust and how the sausage is made on these things said, when people are their most exhausted, most annoyed, that's when they finally compromise. And I think we're there. People are annoyed, they're exhausted. So hopefully we get something done. I'll predict by the end of May, we'll get something across.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, after you heard him say that with his chest out loud, you have to realize that if March closes red, it will mark 6 straight red months for Bitcoin. And this has only happened once in Bitcoin's history. And the last time this happened, the next 5 months were all green. And Bitcoin moved 300+% from 3.5K to 11,000. And this is something that could be mirrored. And we could be ready to see another COVID-style rally. Remember, the Fed's short-term T-bill holdings have gone parabolic, and then not quantitative easing has officially started. But at the same time, the biggest thing that I've been pointing out to all of you that will be the confirmation trigger for this April-May being the beginning of an altcoin season is this. The Fed repo liquidity injections had begun in October. This is very, very important. In 2020, we had COVID in March be confirmed to the world, but September 2019 is when the Fed repo liquidity injections began, along with Event 201, and then 6 months later, COVID and rate cuts happened on the same day to create the perfect environment to send our bags to the moon. Now, 6 months from October will be April, and that is when we are expected to see roughly the Clarity Act pass, as well as we have World War III tensions rising. And would you look at that? Apparently Australia is having an energy crisis due to this World War III environment we're in and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. And it's stating that Australia can impose COVID-style lockdowns again to combat Iranian fuel crisis as Prime Minister calls emergency meeting. The same playbook, different narrative to create the environment for the money printer to go burr. That's going to be the environment for the crypto market to run. And you cannot ignore this playbook.
There's a cessation of war, and yet Iran remains a threat to trade, a threat to the Straits of Hormuz. Then I would argue that we could have years of, above $100, closer to $150 oil.
What happens to the global economy if that happens? How do we see it?
We'll have global recession.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the shot that will be heard around the world. A global recession is here. They have started the backdrop for what will be this recession. This war in Iran is causing an energy crisis, and in the coming videos that I'm going to be posting on this channel, we're going to be getting deep and spicy on what exactly that's going to look like, because predictions I've been making on this channel since 2020 during COVID lockdowns are about to come to fruition. Prophetic is going to be the word you're going to use to describe everything that's been discussed right here about not just XRP, but the world stage. And all of you have to listen very closely right now. Expect the exact same COVID playbook this time around. Slightly different dates, slightly different narrative, exact same results. And economically, this is what's going to happen. We are going to get the final opportunity to make life-changing money before they gatekeep wealth and have a division of classes. There's going to be the 1% and the new 1%, and there's going to be the slave class. Period. End of discussion. This is your last chance for upward economic mobility before they close the doors. Are you ready? Because I motherfucking am. And the one thing I believe is going to make us the most amount of money possible is XRP. And the biggest reason why is because of XRP's connection to the DTCC.
We believe that someday everything will tokenize. It is going to take us a while to get there. What we've tried to do at DTCC is really, we're trying to take 55 years of evolving the US capital markets, or the largest capital markets in the world, and we're really trying to digitize that in a matter of like 50 weeks. Obviously, there's been a lot of work and foundational work that occurred before that. And I'll give you some stats here. It's like, you said we settle for $250 billion a year, which is true. I don't know if you guys know how many zeros are in a quadrillion. I had to Google that my first time. So you get anybody want to take and you can't Google it right now.
Is it 16?
You're close, 15. Right, or put $100 trillion on our platform. Like, that was, we had grandiose ideas on how we can transform the markets, but not at the scale. So you need scale, you need resiliency, and there's no better institution that can enable all that.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's make something abundantly clear right now. The DTCC is in the best position to enable all this. Tokenization is confirmed coming to the world right now, as stated by BlackRock and by the DTCC, who is partnered with the DTCC at all levels. Ripple and XRP, Ripple Prime, DTCC, quadrillion dollar access is there for XRP to have. The derivative market is XRP's to take, and it will one day. And guess what? The money system is changing from the top down, and Donald Trump wants his name on all the damn money. Isn't that so funny? Donald Trump wants his name on all the money, while Rosie Rios, the woman whose name was on all the money, was a part of Ripple. Rosie Rios is the richest woman on the planet and has the most money in the world, with her name embedded in it in history. trillions with Rosie Rios' name, and she decided to go to Ripple. Why would she do that? Because she wanted her name tied to the new money. As Donald Trump wants his name tied to this money, the end of the system is here. The DTCC is ready. Tokenization, a 24/7 tokenized platform, has arrived. Securitize, Ripple partners. Securitize, New York Stock Exchange partners. 24/7, 365 trading. Strait of Hormuz closed. Energy prices higher. All of this is happening for a reason. And the reason is because they're going to have an event. A seismic one. These war tensions will escalate a little further to exacerbate the level of the financial changes we're about to experience. But I promise you, it's all part of the script they're playing out in real time. COVID lockdowns round 2 are on the way. Rate cuts are on the way. And guess what? With all of that comes XRP's price appreciation. A 9/11 style black swan event is about to arrive. And it's not because I think it's gonna happen. It's because they're telling you in real time that that's what's about to take place. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with a shot heard around the world. But to cap off this video for today, before I leave you, please get your offline hardware wallets to protect your generational wealth from any and all hacks and exchanges. This is the most secure way you can guard your XRP and your other altcoins. And if you haven't done so already, the link to this is down in the description below. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. And now I leave you with a firm warning.